one good Catholic in the room, so he knows the background of it. And Glenn, by the way, I realize you didn't dress for St. Patrick's Day today, but you kind of did, because you have on your Democratic tie.
Ah, thank you for recognizing him.
I mean, you have an Irish president, right? Obama, right? So, good show on you. Yeah, that's very, very good.
I'll mention that to him, thank you.
Here's one you might remember. Patrick O'Flaherty came home drunk every evening toward 10. Now, the missus was never too happy about it either. So one night, she hides in the cemetery and figures to scare the bejesus out of him. As poor Pat wanders by, up from behind a tombstone, she jumps in a red devil costume, screaming, "Patty Sean Flaherty, sure you don't give up your drinking, it's to hell I'll take you." Patty, undaunted, staggers back and demands, "Who the hell are you?" To this she replies, "I'm the devil, you damn old fool." He says, "Well, damn glad to meet you, sir. I'm married to your sister." A young Irish girl goes to a priest on Saturday morning for confession. "Father," she says, "forgive me, I have sinned." "You have sinned?" "Yes, I went out with my boyfriend Friday night. He held me hand twice, kissed me 3 times, and he hugged me tight for an hour." "Daughter, I want you to go straight home, squeeze 7 lemons into a glass, and drink it straight down." "Will that wash away me sin, Father?" "No, but it'll take that smile off your face." Like I say, Irish people and the way they kind of go about life. 3 old women meet on the street on a very stormy and windy day. The wind was so strong and loud they had a hard time hearing each other. First one says, "It's windy." The second one says, "No, it's Thursday." The fourth one says, "So am I, let's go get a drink." Irish farmer says, "My cow fell in a hole and I had to shoot it." The second farmer says, "Did you shoot it in the hole?" He says, "No, I shot it in the head." You gotta think about that one. Kind of a biological joke. Another one of my favorites. An Irishman who had a little too much to drink is driving home from the city one night, and of course his car is weaving violently over the road. A cop pulls him over. Gardaí walks. Gardaí, if you remember from last year, those of you who were here, Gardaí is the Irish police. Gardaí walks up and he says, "Well, so, you've been drinking, have you?" Irishman says, "Well, I've been to the pub." "Well," says the cop, "it looks like you've had quite a few drinks this evening." The Irishman says, "Well, I did all right, yeah." "Did you now?" says the cop, standing straight up and folding his arms across his chest. "Let me ask you a question. Did you know a few intersections back your wife fell out of your car?" "Oh, thank heaven," says the drunk. "I thought I'd gone deaf." All right, let's see here. Oh, now this actually happened to a friend of mine. Seamus asked Paddy how he got his black eye. "You'll never believe it," he says, "but I got it in church." He said he'd been sitting behind a fat lady. When they stood for a hymn, he noticed her dress was creased inside the cheeks of her bottom. "All I did was lean forward and pull it out," he says, "and she hit me right in the eye." A week later, they see each other again, and Seamus is surprised to see that Paddy has another black eye on the other eye. "Well, I got this one in church too," he explains. He said he found himself sitting behind the same fat woman. When they stood up for a hymn, her dress was once again creased to the cheeks of her bottom. He says, "My little nephew reached forward and pulled it out, and I knew she didn't like that, so I shoved it back in." After examining Patty, the doctor says, "Look, I'm very sorry, but I can't diagnose your trouble, Patty. I think it must be the drink." Patty says to him, "Don't worry, Dr. Kelly. I'll come back when you're sober." This is kind of a sad one. I don't want to, bring you down, but Mike is laying in bed. His wife Bridget's out in the kitchen. And he says to Bridget, "Bridget, come in here." She comes in. He says, "What is that lovely smell coming from the kitchen?" "Oh, Mike," she says, "'tis a ham I'm baking." "Oh, Mike," said Bridget, "that's my dying wish. I'd love to have some of that ham you're cooking." Bridget says, "No, you old fool, I'm saving that for the wake." I know. Told you it was sad. This one actually happened to my poor cousin, too. A friend walks up to him and says, you know, I noticed the other day in the men's locker room at the club, you're wearing a girdle. He says, how long have you been wearing a girdle? He says, well, ever since my wife found it in the glove compartment. I'm walking the line there, Brother Reed. I'm walking the line, I get it.
I'm sure that was your brother.
You know, in Ireland it's the same. Are there any attorneys in the room? Oh, good. We're among friends. That's great. Irishman calls the law office and says, I want to talk to my lawyer. The receptionist says, I'm sorry, sir, but he died last